Alternate interior, right? We see that they're both on the inside of our parallel lines, and they're on alternate sides of the transversal. Alternate interior angles are congruent. So we can set x plus 67 equal to 60 and solve for x. Right? 9 times out of 10 on this worksheet, all you need to do is set both expressions equal to each other. Now we can subtract 67 from both sides, giving us x equals what? -6. Now, that's a little weird, right? Is it -7? Oops, my bad. Yeah, -7. So, can someone help me understand this? Because my brain kind of just broke. How can we have a negative number here? That doesn't make sense, Azalea. Exactly. So x is not the angle, right? A lot of times we find this number and we're like, oh, that's my angle, but wait, my angle can't be negative. X is not the actual measure of the angle. The angle is 60 degrees, right? So if we see that we're adding something to a larger number that's going to give us 60, well, we know that this missing number has to be negative, right? We're essentially subtracting 7 from 67 to give us that 60-degree angle. Not too bad on that one, hopefully, aside from the fact that the negative answer might have thrown you off.
Wait, so x is equal to -7?
-7, that's right. We set one expression equal to the next. Luckily, our second expression is just a number, and then we go through and solve.
What do we do with x? We just leave it alone?
Yeah, we just leave it as x. We're trying to get it all by itself, but once it's by itself, we'll leave it just like that. Down to number 3, what's the relationship that we see here? Good, alternate exterior angles. We're going to get some practice with identifying what these angle relationships are today. So hopefully by the end of today, we'll be nice and quick with recognizing which is which. Now, alternate exterior angles are also congruent. This is not focused. There we go. So we can set 8x minus 4 equal to 6x plus 12, and then solve. What's the first move that we want to make? Now, we could combine like terms, but technically that's something we have to do on the same side of the equal sign. So if we had like a 2x and an 8x on the left, we would combine those like terms. But we can also, I guess, combine like terms across this equal sign by doing inverse operations. So if we have positive 6x, we want to bring that over to the left. What are we going to have to do? Subtract 6x, right? We just do the opposite. Thank you, Victor. Great job. Get rid of those 6x's. 8x minus 6x is 2x. Minus 4 equals 12. So we brought our I always mess it up. We brought our variable term over to the left. Now we're going to bring this constant term, -4, over to the right. So are we going to subtract 4 from both sides or add 4 to both sides? We're going to add. We always have to do the inverse operation. So we're going to add 4. We get 2x equals 16, and we can divide by 2. Leaving us with an x value of 8. Nice and even. If you got any sort of decimal on this worksheet, double check your work and find where you made your mistake, because all the answers should come out nice and even. Questions on 3? Good. Let's jump down to 6. Yeah, Avery. -8? How'd you get -8? Because the 4 is negative. Oh, right here? Ah, I see. So, yes, if we were, let's say, dividing both sides by this -4, and we had a positive over a negative, then yeah, we'd get a negative answer. But because we're subtracting that 4, and we do the opposite, then we add it. You see what I mean? and then we divide by that positive 2, a positive over a positive just keeps it all positive. But great job looking out for those possible negative values of x. Great work. Let's go down to 6 because 6 is a little bit different. What relationship do we have here in number 6? That's right. Even I almost wrote alternate. These are same side interior angles. The one relationship that we have to pay particular attention to, because these are not congruent angles, but they are what? Starts with an S, ends with supplementary, there we go. There's supplementary angles. Right? We see that 27x plus 2 is an obtuse angle, and 17x plus 2 is an acute angle. So those would have to add together to give us 180. So we're not going to set the expressions equal to each other. We're going to add them both together and set that whole thing equal to 180. Just like we did in number 4, we're going to do the same in number 6. Now that we have all these terms jumbled up on the left-hand side, this is when we're going to combine like terms. Anyone want to point out 2 like terms they see here on the left? Yeah, Noah. 27x plus 17x. Those both look like variable terms to me. And when we add them together, we get what? 44x. Any other like terms we can add? Avery? 2 and 2, right? Positive 2 plus positive 2 gives us positive 4. And that's going to be equal to 180. So 44x plus 4 equals 180. What's next to do? If we want to get x all by itself. Well, it looks like we're multiplying x by 44. Eventually, we're going to have to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing by 44. But before we do that, let's get rid of this plus 4 by, again, doing the inverse operation. What's the opposite of plus 4? Minus 4, right? We're going to subtract 4 from both sides. Now leaving us with 44x equals 176. And it looks like this is going to come out to 4. Did anybody else get 4 for their x here? If we divide by 44, we can't do that nice little trick from the warm-up because we'd have to carry the 1, and that makes it more confusing. But we get x is equal to 4. If we were to plug x equals 4 into both of these expressions, this top one would give us 110 degrees, and this bottom one would give us 70 degrees. Do those two angle measures add to 180? 110 plus 70? Yeah, they sure do. So that verifies that our answer is correct, and this is a supplementary relationship. Sure. Questions on 6? Just for good measure, let's check number 5. These are alternate interior angles. We'll set them equal to each other. I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides, giving me 1 equals x minus 10. And then I'm going to add 10 to both sides and get x is equal to 11. Question, Blake? Okay, perfect. Quick show of thumbs, how does the front side of your worksheet 72 look? Thumbs up if it looks just like mine. Thumbs sideways if it looks pretty close to mine. Thumbs down if it looks nothing like mine. Where are you guys at? Okay, I appreciate you 8, but I'd like to see everyone's thumbs real quick. Okay, good. Looks like we're doing decent. So, here's what we're going to do. Because this worksheet was so long, I'm not going to collect it right now. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight as to how we set these problems up moving forward. You'll notice that on the agenda this morning, we did not have homework. So if you did not get a chance to finish 72, that's your homework tonight, is finishing worksheet 72. You'll also have some time to work on this in class here once we get started.